Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host
Benny and the Soviets. Bum, 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 bum. It's gonna be every pod until I get knocked out of the lead.
Let's stop the karaoke.
Every pod until I get knocked out.
Every pod,
If you
Benny and the
stop karaoke, your
Soviets.
team better get working. The king and his highly ranked minions.
Well, Benny and the Soviets better have a lead because I have all the top guys. So once the quarterfinals hits, it's all gravy.
There may be some great. There may not be any gravy left for you to scoop by then. If Benny, the team captain Benny had 22 aces today. I think he's the team leader. He's not actually good with 24, but
you're leading by I think 12 aces.
Yeah, not as much as I was actually hoping for. But you did have two matches played by Sinner and Djokovic, but you still haven't had any from Giron, right? And my whole team I think went once. So
right, but Djere lost the first set to Cecchinato. I'm a little nervous. I want to at least get a couple matches out of Nico Yari, but it's been fun. I mean, unfortunately, Josh's team kind of fizzled out. It's just he had Isner.
He's down to two guys, right? He's got Fritz left, and he's got Zverev hasn't played.
Left, who hasn't played.
So maybe Zverev can win Wimbledon with 150 aces, and Josh has a chance.
Well, I mean, he might not play until he's going to play tomorrow because he's playing on court 1. But I think that goes into our next topic. This scheduling is just so freaking bad. It's so
it's. They're not focused on running a proper tournament, right? They're focused on getting money for casual fans, and that scheduling has really the scheduling has kind of shown it. It's just, it has certainly not been friendly to, I think, the players or to a fair tournament.
But it's so.
I think there's
I understand okay, you want to favor the stars, but usually there's a little bit of fairness built in, right, to that. Whereas in this instance, it's just there's no fairness at all. Why are you starting center court first of all at 1:30? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I've never understood. That's their tradition, and I've never understood why they do that.
But sometimes tradition needs to go out the window when you're backlogged and people haven't played first round matches. And then, if Cressy and Djere went 5 sets today, they would have had to stop anyway because they have the freaking curfew at 11 o'clock. It's so poorly run. And then also the outer courts, they're starting at 11 a.m. Why not start at 10?
I guess the argument there, I sort of see the argument there because they commit to the ticket holders in advance. They'll start at 11.
Yeah, I'm sure holders would go in an hour early. If they want to come in at 11, they miss an hour. That's their problem. There are tubes and around London that go to Wimbledon, all day long. It's up to them what time they want to show up. No one. It's not like you're going to a job interview where you have to be there at a certain time. You're going to watch freaking tennis. I just don't buy that take. I don't know. I think the most egregious thing of all is the fact that you have a bunch of first round matches that haven't even got on the court. And the first match that was scheduled on center court today was a women's second round match.
Well, I had a Brit. So if you look through it, they didn't really have any good options to put on center court. So they put on a Brit who would be locally interesting.
But
the only other option that I really saw was to throw on Heather Watson again. And Heather Watson's I don't know, she's been on that court 8 million times and she's kind of done not very much for her whole career. I sort of get
why not play a men's second round match? Why not put Zverev on there?
They probably want to give equal time because they usually run 2 women's and 1 men on that court, right? 1 man.
No, they alternate. Before it always used to be 2 men's and 1 women on court on center and court 1. What they really should do is start it at 11:30 or 12 and put 2 each. If you really want to be equal.
That I agree with. That I don't see why they don't do. Unless it's hard to get people into the stadium, but I can't imagine that they can't open the gates. They could at least do noon. If that's a problem, they could at least do noon. It would be fine. Like they don't need to wait until 1:30. It's so
He's ridiculous.
I agree with you, but I honestly I think the more egregious thing is like, why are like the scheduled? Why are like the interrupted matches on like fourth? Like, how do they not make sure? Like how do they not make sure O'Connell and Medvedev got finished today? Like it's the third day and they've played 2 sets.
I know.
Like this isn't Isner Mahut where they played like 72-68 in the fifth. Like this is or 70-68 in the fifth. This is gonna be like they played 2 sets in 2 days. It's like it's like a movie or something. Like I mean like that's
another thing they do is like they put the covers on, and sometimes when like it's like not raining, they like wait because they know that there's a shower coming, right? So they don't utilize the time well.
Yeah, but it's so fun to watch those kids come out and do the covers.
Well, Wimbledon, I think they like that. They want to showcase those ball people. Like, so I think they're secretly happy when it rains because they can showcase these people to, these ball kids that put the tarp on, and they always try to do it in their record time. It's such nonsense.
It's not. I was being sarcastic. It's really not that exciting. Actually, it was really funny today because I was watching like one of them try to get it on, and like they weren't doing a very good job, and like the one girl had to like run over and help the one guy out, and they couldn't get like the tarp pulled on. So it can be like pretty great to watch the bloopers, but
so ridiculous. And then like Medvedev and Ferry, they were playing first on court 1 today, and like it was like I think it was like not raining at all, or I forget what it was, but like they delayed the start of the match because they wanted to open the roof because it's an outdoor tournament, and then it ended up raining anyway, so they had to delay it during the match. It's so bad. They're just like so terrible. It's really bad, and I totally agree with you with like putting delayed matches like fourth on. Like it's just so bad.
Like I don't understand why they wouldn't have like prioritized and made sure every maybe they have to stay on the same court, but that's stupid. Like I don't think there's that much of a difference court to court here, like especially between the outer courts where it really matters. So yeah, all like there's just some stuff like overall, like look, I agree with you honestly across the whole thing. Like on like probably like 80% of your points, I honestly do agree with you, but I can at least see the other side. On some of this stuff, I can't even like see the realistic what any reasoning that makes sense. It's just like, what are you doing?
But it completely destroys the tournament, right? Because like now Zverev is going to play his first match on Thursday, right?
Oh, it's brutal for a guy like Zverev. He's got to play 7 best of 5s now in 11 days. If I mean, he's probably not going to win the tournament, but like if he is, like,
it's terrible.
That's brutal.
And my only take here is like Wimbledon. All they want is a Djokovic Sinner semifinal, because that's the only way they're going to kind of like hype up that round if that happens, right?
I mean,
they're so desperate for it, which is why they're putting like Djokovic second round matches, which I get on center court, but like they should be playing tomorrow, in my opinion. When you have all these first round matches that haven't been completed, that match needs to be.
Oh, if you're trying to be fair to the tournament, 100%, yeah. If you're trying to be fair to the tournament, yeah. If you're trying to be fair to equally fair to all the players, yeah. I don't think they're necessarily pushing for a Djokovic Sinner semifinal. Like they're not. I don't think they're doing it to like give Djokovic an advantage. It's just like convenient and easy to like any day can possibly ever be a Djokovic day. Like throw Djokovic on the court. Because he's the big ticket draw, right? And like fans, I mean, like this is the problem with like tennis being so star oriented, is that like especially with Djokovic, like we could put Djokovic on a whole other level because he is, he's the GOAT and he's like, he's so well known. Like fans show up for Djokovic Day.
I mean, if
like fans will buy tickets,
the tournament, it would be the same for them too, right?
Exactly, and so fans will flip shit if they don't like. If they bought tickets for a Fed Day and then they don't get to see their Federer, because Federer's the only guy that matters on the tour.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like that's I mean, I think that's what they're doing with that, is like with the star players, they're just like, Like they know that draw's ticket. Like it's all about just like it's all about casual fans, right? I mean, we talked about something a lot on the pod with, I don't know if it was on the pod or off the pod with Josh, where like a lot of your slam fans are casual at best fans who know like maybe 5 players. So like if they can throw Djokovic out there, they're gonna do it. And like Sinner's if they can't throw Djokovic out there, Djokovic can only play once in a day, so they have to put somebody else out there too, right? So then they'll throw out Sinner, because Sinner's pretty somewhat well known. Medvedev, like they'll put these top guys out there because like they're known people, right? Or the Brits, right? Like if they had Murray, if it was a potential Murray day, they'd throw Murray out there, right? Because like they know fans will go watch that, right? They after that, like that's the problem, right? It's like after those couple guys, like the fans have no idea what's going on. The most of them, like they're like, oh, who is this? Like, I don't know. You put like
I get that, but the women's match that they threw on first, the second round match, was the Brit who got destroyed 6-love, 6-2 by a Russian. Like you just
because it's a Brit, right? It's because it's a Brit. Like so, basically, their order of operations, and you see this in the U.S. Open too. The order of operations is like top 3 or 4 star player, and then local talent, right? And almost all the slams do this. Like if they don't, and they're like, once they use up Djokovic and Sinner, like there's nobody, they're out of star talent, right? Like on that side of the bracket. So they're like,
what I'm saying is with that women's match, you're still rewarding that Russian for playing the center court, and she was actually the beneficiary of it, right? So it's just it's just so hypocritical to me. Whereas like last year you were all about banning them and all this, and then now you kind of reward her by letting her play a second round match first on. Like I understand the Brit angle, but this Brit is terrible and she got destroyed love and 2. It's not like it's Emma.
She's still, it doesn't matter, right? Like it's just somebody who like people will root for.
Okay.
Like if they threw on like I don't even know who Azarenka played, but if they put on like Azarenka and like Madison Keys, the fans are gonna have no idea what's going on, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know who to root for. Like both these girls are so average. Like, what's going on out here?"
That's
like,
man. I mean, yeah, I understand. Like, I guess, but it's just so bad for like Zverev, for example. I mean, Demonor, it's pretty bad for.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look. So overall, like, if you're saying it's dumb. Like, I agree with the overall take. I guess I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
But like and I'm trying to like argue about what's the dumbest. Like I think the dumbest is having the dumbest was O'Connell Medvedev. How somehow they like waited like they got delayed on Tuesday after a set, and so they decided to put them on last. Like It made no sense. Like get them on like you know that they might have up to 4 sets left. Like there's so much time left in that match. Like getting them on late was incredible. And then like, why couldn't they move Zverev and what's his face to another court? Because like at least try to get that match in, man. So there's another first round match that didn't get played yet either. Zverev's the much bigger name, but there's one other one that didn't even get started yet either.
Like a big name.
Oh, Fokina didn't start yet either, did he? Against Fees?
He plays Arthur Fees, and that's a good match. Like if people want to see some up and coming talent, you want to watch some Arthur Fees. I mean, me more than you, but because I want a dinner. But still, I mean, like that's a good tennis match, and that should I would prefer watching that than.
So I do think like one of the shames of tennis is that all these tournaments operate independently. Yeah. And so like tennis does a miserable job of marketing anybody who's not top 5 or top 10.
They really do.
Like within home country, it's okay. But even then, they only market a few guys. Like when have you ever seen like, look, I don't think Cressy's a very good tennis player. And I think we both agree on that. Like we were kind of shitting on Cressy ever since this pod started. But like, I don't know. Like he's kind of got an interesting story. Played college tennis, coming from the USA. Coming like USA kid. Like you don't see anything with him. You don't even see very much. Like Shelton's like a superstar, and you don't even see too much of like, he's like a young like a potential not a superstar. Yeah, but he's a potential superstar. And for a guy who's a potential superstar, like if Shelton were like another athlete in America, he'd be all over the place.
Yeah, you see no Tommy Paul. I mean, not even Taylor.
Yeah.
Who's top 10.
You see Taylor Fritz and you see Isner.
I mean, Tiafoe maybe, but
Yeah, you
like,
see a fair amount of Tiafoe too. You see Tiafoe, Isner, and Fritz.
yeah. So I used to work for like at the US Open for like when we used to sell like match used equipment and balls. So that's what we did like during the 2 weeks. So we would like authenticate and collect the balls from the court using the match, kind of cube them up nicely, and then like sell them based on like the match. You would price it, right? And then the company also had deals with certain players. Like we had deals with Isner, Azarenka, but like not like big names, just like kind of mid-tier. That equipment barely got sold because like half the people didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So it's just
yeah.
like it's so badly marketed, and it's really a shame. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's a shame. I mean, we're gonna watch it because we're junkies, right? And we're also betting these matches, but for the casuals,
But that's the problem, right? So that's the fundamental problem, though, with like, I don't know, like wait, and I'm not shitting on capitals, but that's like the fundamental problem with this, right? Is that like these tournaments are all going to operate like in the with like a short term goals, right? With short term mindset, and like they know, like, yeah, we'll watch. They can put anybody on the course. Honestly, actually, they can put anybody they want on center court, and we're not going to go watch. We're going to go watch the outer courts instead.
I mean, if they put Fokina against Feast on there, or they put Zverev and Brouwer, I mean, I would probably check in and watch some of that. You know,
I
like
wouldn't, because you get a better seat on the outer courts. Watch outer court matches. To be honest, I just love the outer courts, but like, but like the point is like they don't like they like they know that like the junkies are going to decide based on other factors, right? Like if they're not going to get the junkies based on like they like who they put in that stadium isn't really going to impact whether or not the junkies go watch.
I understand. I'm just saying, just be a little bit more fair. You know, like
I agree with you. I'm playing devil's advocate, but I actually agree with you.
yeah,
Like it's ridiculous that they start second rounders before finishing the first round,
100%.
especially in a tournament where like this is a problem. Like
Right.
this is a potential problem. So it's not like you can be like, oh, we're gonna get them done on the same day. Don't worry. No. Like you don't know you're gonna get them done on the same day because you have rain all the time.
If it rains tomorrow, just hypothetically, I don't think it's supposed to, but hypothetically, if it rains tomorrow, are we seriously going to have Djokovic and Sinner playing their third round matches before like first round matches get on the court? Like,
I know.
It's so.
I don't think they would do that because they'd be so backlogged that like they you know what I mean. I think they would probably at that point they would probably make them push a day, but like it's pretty ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. Like Zverev, like so what is he? He's gonna play a full 5 sets Thursday and then come back play a full 5 sets Friday.
Yeah, that would be his second round. So then he would have to come back on Saturday and play again
and play a full 5.
I mean, yeah,
they would probably push that to Sunday. I imagine if they would probably make it play Thursday, Friday, but that's still 3 5-setters in 4 days. That's brutal.
It's tough. Yeah, it's just not fair.
And it's just incredibly unfair. Yeah, I mean, look, like we agree. Like it's BS. Like in reality, I completely agree with you. It's BS.
And also, I mean, like, we don't like know women's tennis that much, but like the women play 2 out of 3. So when you're backlogged like this, you have to prioritize the men's a little bit more. And it's not like this is nothing sexist or anything.
No,
like,
it's not sexist. It's just a matter of like the women. The reality is, right? Like they could play the women's tournament in a week, and it would be pretty similar to the women's tournament on the WTA tour they play every week. Right? Like the 250s and 500s, they play like 5 matches in 7 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So like for the women, that is feasible.
I mean, to me, for the women, the toughest tournaments to win are that Sunshine Double. Because, you're, or like a 1,000, but you're playing in a week. Like those are tougher than this for them. Like, but in this situation, you have to prioritize the men. You got to get them first on, like
because the matches are longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this isn't a bullshit best of 5 versus best of 3 argument. Like there's plenty of time to get people. Like it's just about using your time properly.
Right. Yeah.
Like they can run this tournament and have it make sense. Like, or they could yeah,
it's really bad. And then I don't know. Hopefully all these matches get completed tomorrow, but all right, let's move on. So just some housekeeping. So Brad opened up a blog where he's going to be doing well, I guess we both will, but
we'll be writing up some matches. Our first one today was Schwartzman versus Sinner, which we actually, I think the write-up on that one was pretty good.
It was.
Not in terms of like the write-up being write-up was good. I thought the write-up was decent, but like it actually the match kind of followed what we wrote up a little bit. First set was maybe a little more competitive than I imagined, but in the end, Sinner did dominate pretty handily. But anyways, the blog is betting down the house, just spelled out as said, .blogspot.com. So you'll see the links on the Twitter. But yeah, that's the blog. We'll try to do periodic write-ups. Look, Manny and I both have jobs. It's a little difficult, but we'll try to. And honestly, like my plan is only to write up stuff that I feel like I know enough about to be worth writing up. And there's only so many matches where for me that's the case.
Well, it's gonna be mainly like our GBM plays of the day, right? Like
I think
So, because we also have like our personal bets, which we're not as confident in, that we still discuss in the pod, but it's gonna be kind of based on those bets, right?
Yeah, but and they do. I mean, guys, these do take time. So you won't see more than one or two a day. It's just not I think probably on average, it takes probably half an hour or so to write one up. So, but I was impressed to see that got some viewers, got I think 30 viewers on the on the blog post, and guaranteed that we got it up a little late. We're gonna try to get them up. I'll try to get the blog post up and announced on Twitter tonight, or it's tonight. It's about 10:30 New York time, Eastern Standard Time in the US. So we'll try to do this pod and then get a match written up relatively quickly to try to give you a little time to read it, especially for the people in Europe. They'll have most of the day to read it. So or most of the morning.
So that's exciting. Any other new developments? I mean, the conversation on the Discord and the Twitter is always good.
Great conversation on the Twitter. Great little debate with Klaus Fulgaard and Tidbits on the Murray Tsitsipas line today. So that was good. But yeah, I think other than that, not a whole lot of housekeeping stuff.
We're up to 475 followers on Twitter, which is just incredible. I never would have thought we would have been at this point.
Well, I think it's the number of views. Our preview pod hit 100 something views, right?
Yeah, it's 120 views.
Yeah, so I didn't think we would get that far. There's. I mean, I really thought it would just be you and I viewing it, and maybe 5 people. It's a little bit more
Yeah. Well, it's discussion-based reasoning, right? So it's, it takes a lot of time, but it's long form. So if you like that, then you'll like us.
Yeah, I think it's a little different. I don't think there's a whole lot of people. I think that's probably the one thing that we've done a nice job of is actually stumbling into our own kind of niche.
Yeah.
And not even intentionally. I think the original goal, I mean, it's so funny. The original goal was to have them be an hour, and we'd be oh my God, we went 3 hours. What a mistake. What a disaster. And then we realized after 3 of them, that it was just always going to be 3 hours.
But why are we going to short ourselves if we have more to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we'd probably just be talking off the air, but why not talk on the air,
Exactly. Exactly. So I think with that, there's, we may as well get into the tennis. So, well, I don't think we're going to go through every single result today. But
it was mainly first round matches, right? And I think only the Djokovic and Sinner played their second rounds, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, Djokovic had a pretty tough match with Jordan Thompson today. I didn't see any of that, but Thompson covered the 8.5. I didn't bet it. I don't know. Did you, Manny? I think you bet the over on the first set.
I bet the over in the first set, which is kind of painful because both the second and the third got there.
And then you bet the Thompson money line in the second set, right?
Yeah, I did. I got that at plus 400 when it was, I think, 3-all or something like that. 3 or 4-all. But I'm
yeah.
So, Djokovic was I don't think he played his best. It was probably B, B- for Djokovic, I would say. Thompson was really good. I thought he played a very good tactical match because if he stays on the back of the court and just rallies with him, that match is 2-3-2. right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah, at best.
he
Yeah.
was coming in, he was volleying exceptionally well. He was taking the ball early, kind of taking it to Djokovic, in like subtle ways, and that was quite impressive. So, just made it very competitive. Just the tight moments late in the sets, like the one he lost the second set breaker, I think 7-5, and the one mini break was a double fault. Like you just can't do that. And it's not like Djokovic played an amazing tiebreak. It's just Thompson is not the most mentally tough guy, and it's just like one mistake like that. It's rough, So, but overall, great match from Thompson. I mean, I was impressed. That was
I've been really impressed with Thompson on this swing, man.
Yeah, good.
Like we always knew he was a good grass court player. Like this was his best surface, but he's been good. Like I thought there was something especially good. Like I mean, he's playing like a top 30 guy right now on the grass. Obviously, his grass season is done, and he'll be like kind of okay on the hard, but he won't be nearly as good. But
it's
like
tough draw, man, to play Nakashima first round and Novak second round. Like he didn't deserve that.
No. I mean,
that's
for a guy who's like, if you had a committee seating this, and I understand why they don't, so I'm not suggesting a rule change, but like if you had a committee seating this, I think you could make a legitimate argument for Jordan Thompson being a seed. If you were telling me who the 32 best players are for this tournament I think you can make a case for Thompson in the 24 to 32 range.
I would agree.
So it's disappointing. Yeah, it's a tough draw for him, and it's a disappointing exit for a guy who in a different section could have made a run.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So that was the Djokovic match, and I guess we could hit on the Sinner Schwartzman match.
Yeah, so Sinner, I mean, it was a beatdown. It was one tight set and then a beatdown. And honestly, I don't even think I think Sinner, I'm looking at the set one stats here. So Sinner, I mean, first set was pretty competitive. But then only one break, so which was more what it was than anything else. But to be fair, Sinner had 17 unforced errors in the first set, which that's a lot.
That's a lot, but it was still close, and I felt like Sinner was generating more opportunities, right? Like, it
was pretty, not necessarily. Schwartzman was 0 of 3 on break point.
Okay.
So I think it was pretty even set.
We hit the under 18.5 at plus 155 or 160.
160, and it missed.
It's like we just got it one game too late. Like the break came at 5-all instead of 4-all.
And then I also hit the I put a second unit on it and hit the Sinner minus 7.5, which got there easily. It's funny because my write-up literally said like my write-up literally said like minus 7.5, and you should take anything up to minus 10 if you have to.
We probably should have been more aggressive and just played like minus 8.5 or minus 9 at like plus money.
Yeah, if you could find a book that would give you those like extreme spreads, that would have been the play. I think would have been to go like Sinner minus 9 or something, or Sinner minus 9.5. Because like it's just a really tough matchup for Schwartzman. But hey, you know what? Good on Schwartzman for beating Kecmanovic. They'll probably let him come play again next year.
Yeah. Well,
I feel like
my takeaway is I think I'm gonna stop betting the under 18.5s. I just think it's very hard. Like unless you're playing Juan Manuel Cerundolo on grass, I don't necessarily think it's a great bet because like even Alcaraz against Shardy, he didn't hit that, right? Like there was one close.
Well, but you have to look at the matchup, right? And like this one I knew was going to be tough. It was just sitting out there at like 160. And I thought it was going to have like a 50-50 chance of hitting. You know what I mean? It's sitting out there at plus 160. Like that only needs to hit like less than 2 out of 5 in order for it to be profitable. You can't convince me that doesn't hit 2 out of 5.
Okay, but I actually think laying the games here at a more aggressive line would be probably more profitable.
I think so. I think that was the mistake. We should have just double united on laying on laying the games and with like laying the 7.5 or the 8 because because you knew they were going to be running late sets.
Under 18.5 with Copions with Demonor and like it's not that good. Like especially a plus 100. Like in hindsight,
Copions is so bad. But yeah, honestly, again, you're right. It's another example. Like you could
tough.
lay the games, and it's so much more likely to come through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a decent point there. Not too much to say about this, but your boy Djere came through against Cressy in 4 tiebreaks.
Yes. Well, I just love fading Maxime Cressy. Like, he's gonna have like set point or whatever. I'm not even nervous because he's gonna throw in a double fault or just brick a volley.
Cressy today,
like,
23 aces, 21 doubles.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Um,
just and
yeah.
now he's lacking in confidence so much because like he's only won one of his last like 13 matches or something. So
Yeah.
when you like are in that kind of funk where you're just not losing, like whenever an important point comes, like it just never goes your way. And that's what I love getting Cressy. Like that's what it feels like. Like in the third set, I think he had the mini break in the tie break, and he just like pricked a bad volley. Like he was in winning position. And it just like, yeah. So, and that's plus money. Anytime I'm getting plus money.
I just have a hard time ever betting Laszlo on grass. But you were probably
I'm not
right.
even looking at the opponent. Like it could have been Kopiance, and I would have hit that. Like because Cressy, it doesn't really matter who the opponent is. He's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, he's only got one.
I mean? He's only got one way of playing. Like, and if the return comes back, he's in trouble.
Yeah.
So,
Medvedev beat Ferry 5-4-3. I thought we placed good bets on that for Ferry to win a set at 285. And I came out flat. I also had Medvedev over 18.5 at even money.
Good bet.
Yeah, I mean,
over 18.5s are good. I get a little bit iffy when it gets to the lines are like 19.5 or 20. Like I just don't know how to quantify that.
Sometimes I like those, but it has to be guys who are actually they're going to drop a set at that point.
Right.
Like over 18.5, I just need one set to get to 7. Once it's like over 19 or over 19.5, then I'm thinking, okay, like, will this guy drop a set?
Because I love the over 12.5 in the best of 3 match. I don't necessarily love. I think that equates to the 18.5, but just you get few of those lines at good prices on grass.
12.5, we weren't really getting very many good lines on grass though either.
That's true. It would always be like 13 or
yeah.
So I feel like it's just hard to quantify, But
yeah, the 12.5 is easier. I'll agree with you on that. Your boy Fritzy, your favorite guy, got through against Hoffman. That was sad because I had a bet on Hoffman that I made it plus 175 at the beginning of the 5th.
I think you got screwed by the delay.
Slightly. I mean,
because they stopped at not an even game, which was kind of weird.
It was, but I think Hoffman came out and held, right?
He did, but it's a lot of pressure on you right off the gate. Like I think it,
I prefer when they stop on an even game. I agree with you on that. I think they should aim to stop on an even game. Also, how do they remember which side each guy was on to know like which guy gets which side when they come back after delay?
And what do they do with the balls? Do they use the same balls from the night before?
That would be terrible.
Probably
because even as a player, we know the balls die over time, right? Like,
right. Yeah, I would hope they would change
new balls, please. It's just tennis news. Tsitsipas beats team in a 5th set tiebreak. Just sad times for Tsitsipas, man. Sad times. Like,
I mean, Tsitsipas might be the worst. I think Tidbits posted this, but he might be the worst top 5 player on a particular surface. Like,
I don't know, man. Like, because he might not even be the worst top 5 player in this tournament on this surface. Like, if he played Ruud on grass, who wins? Probably Ruud right now, but it's pretty bad. Like, it's not like neither. Like, it's pretty close between like how bad both those guys are. It's I don't know.
So I talked about it on the like the preview pod. Like the only line I actually ended up not hitting it because it's just kind of risky hitting it. But I thought the 5 set line was actually probably the only thing worth playing here.
Yeah.
I should have hit it, but I ended up hitting the Tsitsipas money line and over 37.5. I just thought it would be a drawn out match, but it was hard to get a read on it. Like, team has been so bad.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play something with like an over in it, and I kind of gave me a 70-30 chance to win, I guess. But I think the best bet to like in this little section of the draw was to bet pre-tournament Tsitsipas to lose in the second round.
Yeah, probably. Well, what odds did you get on that?
I got plus 150 on that.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think Murray gets him next round. I'm sure we'll talk about that match.
Mm-hmm.
Tiafoe straight-setted Wu. I don't have too much to say there.
Well, Wu, so I was surprised that match went on because like Wu had a medical timeout, and he actually like when he went into the locker room, he fainted.
From the heat? What did he faint from?
He has a heart condition where he gets.
I did not know this. Oh no!
Like tachycardia. So yeah, it's like so it was weird because like he told the doctors that he wanted to continue because like he gets these like sudden bouts of like fast heart rate, and it went up to like 160 or 180. So like someone some commentator like commented as he went into the locker room, he fainted. And I guess he got better pretty soon after, but it was like a long delay. I thought the match was over, but he came back and actually continued. So I don't know. That was a little bit scary, but I guess he's dealt with it before, so like he kind of knew what to expect. So he seemed pretty fine after the injury timeout, which was it's weird. But I had Wu to win a set there. I thought like Tiafoe, Tiafoe does tend to like clown a set away, especially when he's up 2-0. I remember it happened against Altmaier at the Australian.
Oh, it can very well come with Tiafoe. Tiafoe is always a danger to do that. It's always a good pick for your aces team, by the way.
Oh yeah, baby.
How many did he get today against Wu?
Good question.
You count that in your total, right? Yeah, that was the 14 you had in your total. You counted that.
Yeah. He had 14 aces for that. It's not bad. What else was today?
Ruud beat Lehecka, and he came out and dominated him after the first set tiebreak. Paul beat Mochizuki. I didn't hear anything about the ankle. Did the ankle look better?
Seemed fine.
Yeah.
Okay. We both stayed away, right? Just because we didn't.
Yeah, just because of the ankle concerns, right?
Yeah.
Like,
how about I think you saw more of this than I did. I had to turn it off because it was just so ugly to watch. Eubanks and Montero.
So mad. Like Montero, I'm never betting Montero on Grant. I knew it wasn't a good idea, but I was like, oh, there's a fatigue spot, and like Eubanks is so bad on return. Montero can hold enough to get there.
You thought it was in the bag after the first set.
Well, it should have been.
I just disappointed you. I actually played pretty bad today myself, so
yeah,
it was just a bad day for anyone that plays like Montero.
Yeah. No, like Montero, so yeah, it was just bad times. Montero had, I think, 40-30 to get to Montero had 40-30 to get to a tiebreak in the second set. Right. And if he gets to one tiebreak, you're good because he's gonna serve first last two sets. And even if he loses, like you'll lose two games, you'll cover, you'll lose by 3 and you'll cover. So he had 40-30 and to get to a tiebreak, and then he went bad forehand miss, double fault, forehand unforced error. Bad forehand. It was just like so frustrating. The forehand's the one, like Eubanks kept hitting the ball to his forehand. It was kind of incredibly like bad to watch. I didn't understand why he kept going after the like, but then Montero would just miss, so it didn't actually matter. Like it was such a bad it was just so bad. And then like I said, Montero's like that was one game. Then the second set, the third set, the same thing happened. And I think trying to remember what happened. Oh yeah, on this one, like Montero got to 30 all and then just made like 2 dumb errors on the forehand again. Like he just like every time it was a big point, just brick a forehand. Like that's his best stroke. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
So just
so my bet was actually painful in this match too. I had the under 42.5 games. Guess what it landed at?
43 or 43, right?
I just hate that when you lose it by half a game. I just thought that over under was too high, considering like the Eubanks possible fatigue spot, right? Like,
and honestly, the biggest thing is like Montero just man, like unless he's on like, he's the yeah, I don't know, like it was just a frustrating match. Like I guess like I usually like to bet Montero to cover spreads because he does have like a decent serve and like he's usually pretty good actually at covering spreads. He just like, he was so close. Like he was like 2 points away and a point away from pretty much guaranteeing the cover. Like, and he just couldn't quite do it. So just frustrating.
What's your take on Eubanks? Like, I mean, he's had a really good season. Like,
I don't know, man. Like
grass court rankings, like, is he top 40 for you on grass?
Somewhere between like 40 and 50. Because like, look, my issue is like, okay, so he's had a good season, but here's the guys he's beaten: Kovacevic, Benjamin Locke, Radu Albot, Hugo Gaston, Altmaier, Mickelson, Ben Shelton, Rinderknecht, Lloyd Harris, Mannarino played like crap, and then Thiago Montero. So like Shelton in the third set tiebreak, kind of okay, but like not really that great. What?
Who did he beat in Miami again?
Oh yeah, going back to Miami because that was his grass court success. Now Miami, he beat Abdullah Shelbed and Lucas Klein to qualify. Kudla, Coric, Barrere, and Mannarino again.
Yeah, it's nothing there you really like wow, but
like maybe top 50, like
tennis matches.
I mean, winning tennis matches. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's beating. Look, like Barrere. I mean, we kind of talk up Barrere a little bit. Barrere was one nice hit that actually came through for me today. But like, Barrere's like, I call him the Jaguar because he's just another guy. Like I don't feel like there's very much special with him, but like he's like, I don't know. He does like he's like an average ATP Tour player.
Really good backhand. Barrere.
True.
World-class backhand.
True.
And I was impressed with the win today against Lloyd Harris. Like, mentally tough. He was kind of the more clutch player. Like, he was the one that kind of got breaks late in sets. I think one of those sets were tie breaks, but like maybe 2 of them. But like, I thought the Barrere money line and the over. I mean, I hit both, but I thought that those were the play. I mean, you disagreed with Josh, right? Like Josh had the Paris money line, I believe.
Yeah, I had the Barrere money line.
Right. So
in a pick-up match.
Yep. Yeah, Paris was the second set breaker, but like Barrere was able to break late in the first and the third.
Yeah. I mean, Barrere did just enough to get through that, but like that makes sense. Like he's not. I mean, look, no, like that's what I'm saying. He's just a guy. Like he's like he's decent. He's like he's like somewhere in the bottom of the top 50.
Is just the guy good enough to beat Chapo?
Maybe. Like. I think I'm probably going to hit Barrere there because I was looking at like if Barrere's a significant dog, I think you have to hit him.
I think so too. Well, we'll get into that. All right. Let's hit a little bit on probably the most eyesore of a match today was the Denis Novak Milos Raonic match.
Oh, that was awful. That was absolutely atrocious. So like,
bad, man.
So my takeaway there is not to get excited about. I'm still not excited about Raonic.
No, me neither.
Like Raonic, he didn't actually look like he was. I will say he was serving big. He was serving huge. So he can still serve the ball. But like he looks a little out of shape, I think.
Yeah, he's kind of like a taller, more awkward looking Kecmanovic.
Yeah, but he looks like he's got a little extra. It looks like he didn't like lose all the weight during the. He's not quite back in tennis shape yet. And then like he didn't look that good off the ground to me either. Like when he
Yeah.
when he could stand and bludgeon a forehand, he was fine. But like that's so are a lot of ATP players. Like, but I thought like, yeah, I didn't think he more just like benefited from Novak just making some terrible errors in key spots.
Oh, the brick forehand volley in the fourth set to get broken was one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was so bad. But I mean,
well, the miss at the end of the third set, I think it was the third set tiebreak that wasn't much better either.
So bad. But I felt like Novak, it was just a dumb match because like all he really had to do was kind of just try to make that physical. Just get like 3 balls in the court. Like,
I know, man.
It's just so frustrating. And it's because like I am a firm believer that if that match goes 5 sets, like Raonic doesn't get through that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It felt like Novak was the one that hasn't played in 2 years. Like that's how bad this match was. I mean, Raonic served 71%. He won 87% of points on first serve and won 57% on second serve. So, but that being
said, he was serving good. Like his serve is there. Like he's like I wouldn't bet like under 18.5 against him because like the serve is there. It's just, like it's just nothing else.
Yep. Yeah, Novak only generated 2 break points in the entire match and didn't break. Like you got to break once. Like, can you put like 4 balls in the court? Like, but only won 28 receiving points the entire match.
Mayot beat Bonsai, which is a good win, I think, for you.
Yep. Yeah, that was good. Well, that was one of
Safiullin beat a Goot. That was sad. So my 250 to 1 on a Goot goes awry after he goes to Safiullin in the 5th. But
2 quarters futures between that and Greek Sport, they both tanked in the first round. So, but Safiullin, like, he actually played a hell of a match.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Match point 9 guys pointed this out. Like Safiullin really took it to Bautista.
Well, Safiullin's playing well, he can, right? Like if Safiullin's playing well, he can take it to you. It's just like, yeah.
I heard he had like 80 or something winners. Like he played a hell of a tennis match.
I gotta look this up. 80 winners is cool. I just want to see that stat. 89 winners.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. 72 on forced errors.
Okay. All right. But yeah, 89 winners is impressive. I mean, John from Match Point 9 brought that up and I was like, whoa, 89 winners? That's pretty impressive stuff. So
yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff.
I don't really look at the unforced error stats at Wimbledon because like they kind of like
usually they're deflated. That's the crazy thing. Like he probably made like over 100 if they counted it up for 72. Like
that's
a
true.
Friendly 72. Like yeah.
That's true. They deflated.
Pella beat Koric. We kind of called that out a little bit on our preview pod where like Koric kind of plays like a couple good tournaments a year, so he goes out in the first round here.
I think he's an instant fade in the first round, and then if he wins a couple, you can like go back on him.
Yeah.
If he gets to the 3rd or 4th round, then like start backing him.
Yeah.
But first round is like if he's playing someone okay, it's like an instant fade. So I had to pay him.
Chapo comes back, yeah.
And then I also had the over there, so it was a good match for me.
I had Pella +5. I thought that that was going to be a competitive match.
Yeah. Chapo
beat Albot, came back from losing the first set. Nothing really surprising there. I think that was probably
like Chapo can be erratic and still beat Albot because the gap in like power is just like so massive. Like, is there a match where the power gap is like any bigger? Like, there may not be.
If he played Cerundolo,
Juan Manuel, I still think Juan Manuel hits a slightly bigger ball, like especially on the forehand than Albot.
Maybe.
But,
the other, while we're talking about Cerundolo's, Frankie beat Borges. There was some good chatter on the Discord about that match, and people are excited about Borges.
But Borges hurt his ankle.
Yeah, that's right. I did hear about that.
Yeah. So, and Borges just didn't want to retire. He just
how do I feel about Cerundolo on the grass? I still think he's pretty good, man. Like
He's pretty good. I don't know. Is this like a slight fate spot because of the Eastbourne win? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to
I
tell
don't know.
because like, did he win this match just because like Borges wasn't healthy and turned his ankle? Like, he's still barely covered. It's not like he like blew Borges away, even with a blown ankle. Like, it's not. It's a little bit of lack of energy. He's just like very, very solid. Like, and he moves quite well on the grass, you know? So I think if he's like mentally there and ready to play, 5 sets, I think he's a guy you might want to back, but it's a little bit tricky. Just because of like, I don't know what his like pure motivation is coming off a title.
Yeah, I agree.
And who does
so for my aces team, Shelton beat Taro Daniel, 22 aces. Captain Benny.
Captain Benny.
He knew the strategy that had to be played. Like, he knew you get the lead, you make it look like you're in good shape, you get yourself a cushion, then you got to give a set or two up so you can get some service games in. Otherwise, you don't get enough chances to serve. Then make sure you close it out. So good job to Shelton, to Benny, Captain Benny. On to the next round. He's also getting the guys fired up. He's doing a lot of cheering out there, which is important.
Yeah, I knew that match would be complicated.
Yeah, because Shelton's just going to get your Taro Daniel's just going to get a lot of balls back.
Yeah, exactly. And if Shelton stops missing, like, he's gonna miss at some point in a 5-set match, right? He's gonna go through a spell where he's just missing a bunch of balls. So, any Shelton match, I'm gonna bet like overs, over 3.5 sets. He's gonna be like a staple in an over 3.5 set parlay. Like, doesn't really matter who he plays, to be honest. I think he's gonna have trouble winning any match in straight sets. So that's just my takeaway.
Yeah.
What else?
Not much. I mean, there were other matches, but nothing. Oh, we forgot about the one of the last two really big news pieces of the day. Greeks pour out to Fucsovics in straights.
Oh, that was
4-2 and 4. What a beatdown.
Yeah.
I mean, Fucsovics is underrated on grass, but Greeksport should not be losing this.
No.
That badly.
Yeah, he just didn't show up. I mean, there's nothing much to say.
And he had 2 days to show up.
I know. Didn't show up either day.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that match you would hit an under 18.5 on Fucsovics, like, that's
I know.
It's just like, God.
The problem is he wouldn't have even gotten a good line on under 18.5. There was such a chance he would lose.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I was high on him, and then like I bet him to win the quarter. It wasn't that as painful because like I had that Greek sport Bautista Agut parlay, and then like RBA lost earlier, so whatever.
And then the last big piece of news, man, Korda goes out to Vesely. I talked on the preview pod. I'm not high on Korda, man. I actually backed him in this match to cover the games just because I thought like Vesely would gas at some point because like he doesn't play that much anymore. But like, man, like it's just
Korda was the one trash talking. Like, he was saying, "Oh, I'm a favorite here and this and that," and like really, dude. Like, you gotta like back it up a little bit, Like his stock may have like dwindled, not just because of his performance today, but because of the trash talking prior to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I was gonna remember the trash talking, but like, I just feel like we talked about before, like we're waiting for him to be good, but like he showed it for 1 month. He's had 1 month where he's really shown like that he was something, right? And that was January. Mm-hmm. Like this January, he was amazing until that wrist injury, and ever since then, like, but like before and after that, not really. I mean, he's 23, so like he's still young, but he's not like that young anymore,
Yes, I mean, he better be careful because soon you become like a Zverev. Remember in like 2017, he's the young guy winning Masters 1000s. And like, what has he done since?
Yeah, but what Masters has Korda won?
Nothing. So he's behind, and like he's 23, you know, so pretty soon he's going to be 26, 27 with a similar resume. And then everyone's going to be like, it's a waste of talent, you know? So
yeah, I mean, really, like,
he better be
know,
careful.
Yeah.
He better step the game up. So I think he has two liabilities. I think his serve is actually not that good. It's kind of easily readable, I think. Like it's not like that penetrating. It's just like it's a decent serve, but like for someone his height, like he should be placing it and hitting it, you know, 130 consistently. He's not doing that. So that's
yeah, I mean, he has one tournament win, the 250 in Parma on clay. And I had to look this up because I did not remember where he beat Shelton in the finals.
Player, actually.
What?
He's a decent clay court player.
Yeah, he has one title, a bunch of finals. He has made a bunch of finals, to be fair to him.
But no finals of like big tier events, right? No Masters.
I mean, the closest one was Adelaide, right? Well, again, in January when he lost to Djokovic. That was like the peak. That was pretty good. But like,
Medvedev
not like, not a whole lot like in terms of results, man.
I think his forehand is also a big liability. I
agree with.
Like the mechanics of it just don't seem right. He kind of like pushes it and like steers it into the court. Like I don't know. It's actually like we always say, oh, it's a fluid game, right? Like that's not a fluid shot to me, the forehand. And it has a lot of peaks and valleys. Like he can hit it well for a little bit, but like when he loses it, it's trouble.
I don't know. Like I think the swing looks good, but it doesn't seem to work.
I don't know. Mechanically, it doesn't seem totally right. And it's just an erratic shot.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. It's amazing. Like, if you look at his results, he's got one Masters quarter.
And that was in Miami like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember that run, but like I mean, he's really there's very little in the way of results, man.
And that was a pretty weak draw because like that was like the COVID year. So
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But it's just like it's yeah, it's just interesting, you know, because again, you know, he played really well in January and people really got high on him, and it's you know, I mean, I don't know, man.
So Vesely, I almost regret like not going in a little bit on Vesely because like he's kind of like a giant killer. Like he doesn't do.
Does he have a winning record against Djokovic?
He does. He's like one of like two guys.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
I think him and Kyrgios might be the only two guys.
It's also funny because like, yeah, he's 2-0. He's 2-0 versus Djokovic head to head. You know, yeah, 2-0. Dubai and Monte Carlo. I remember the Monte Carlo match because it was like a WTF kind of match. Like
the Dubai match was last year. I remember that too. Yeah, but I don't know. It's disappointing for sure. I had a couple bets on Korda. I had Korda to play Murray in the fourth round.
Okay.
Plus 500, so that lost. And then I mean, this was like 100. It was a crazy long shot, but it was, I think, 50-1. Alcaraz, Korda, and Fritz to win their quarters. But I mean,
yeah. I couldn't get behind Korda. Like we talked about a little bit on the pod.
I thought Korda would be like a third or fourth round, like not lose to Vesely. Like this is a.
I didn't think Korda lose to Vesely. Yeah, I didn't think that. Like this is a bad loss.
Yeah.
There was a funny moment where like Vesely didn't agree with the Hawkeye. Like the Hawkeye called the ball out, and Vesely didn't agree with it. It was kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for the matches today.
Yeah, I think we can move into the into tomorrow's match. We're not gonna talk about anything we talked about last time because there's so much backup because of the weather. So we talked last night about probably half of these matches.
I'm gonna
So I
write
guess
in the YouTube description, like what matches we talked about specifically, so you can like go back and forth between the videos if you want to see like.
Yeah, that's a great call. That's a great call.
They won't be on Twitter, but they're gonna be on YouTube in the video description.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Right.
I think that'll work really well.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So first matchup for tomorrow. That's kind of new and fresh.
Did you look?
Chapo versus Barrere. What?
Did you look at the lines?
I did. Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. I looked at like half of them.
Okay, I did not. So if you want to,
okay,
look at the lines.
We can play against the lines.
Okay.
First matchup is Chapo Barrere.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with. This is very. I don't know. I think. See, the books give still Chapo some respect. I'm gonna say like a pick'em.
No. And I know we're gonna go with this. Chapo is a 2.5 game favorite at -120.
Wow.
And the money line is Chapo -170, Barrere +140.
I think this screams Barrere money line to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's my initial thought. I mean, looking right now, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, this is never Chapo. The question is this a stay away because just Chapo is so erratic, or is +140 enough for Barrere? I was hoping Barrere would be like +150 or higher. 140 is tough. It still is plus money. Like,
what's like a Barrere 3-1? Something a little bit kind of more out there.
Well, so that was my thought, is like, this is never going straights, right?
No, it's never going straights.
So, like,
what's the over under here?
40. I forgot to mention that the over under on the games is 40. I think that's too high for me to want to hit that.
Yeah, but
like 40 is a little bit too high for my taste.
Seems like the right line, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I can go under because like this could go 5, but I don't really want to go over because I don't see a whole lot of long sets here. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of like 6-3 or 6-4 sets.
I mean, if I'm taking one of those, I would lean to the over.
I would agree.
Right, but like I would never take the under there.
I would agree.
But like, what's Barrere 3-1? Like, if we go kind of more into those like set
5-1. That's not. I mean, that I think is like if I'm gonna play it, I think that's how I want to play it. Is I want to play Barrere. That might be my play, man. Barrere 3-1. It's not like a GBM play of the day, but I might play this as Barrere 3-1 because you're getting 5-1 on it. And like, I don't see this going. I don't really have a good feel for what's going to happen, but I don't see this being lopsided. Like I see this being back and forth.
Yeah.
The 4-set line is 170. The 5-set line is 150.
What's the 5-set line?
250. Sorry, 250. The 4-set line is 170.
I actually see like I like the Barrere money line. I think I'm gonna go that. I'm gonna go like half a unit on that, and then I'm gonna go half a unit on the 3-1 Barrere.
Yeah. If I'm gonna hit this, it's gonna be the Barrere 3-1, and I might take a shot on the the 4 of the 5 set money line, or the 4 of the 5 set line. Like, I might take a shot on the 4. I don't know. The 4 set line here feels, or the 5 feels good.
Plus 170.
Yeah, for the 4 and 250 for the 5.
I don't know. I thought it should be a pick 'em, right? So like, if I'm getting plus 140 on Barrera, I think that's decent value.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like Shapo's, I think he's, I don't know. Like,
can he win two matches in a row? And this is a totally different matchup than Albot, right? Like against Albot.
Oh, it's totally different. Yeah.
So like,
I mean,
Barrera,
Shapo did win 2 matches in a row at Roland Garros, and he beat Nakashima and Arnaldi. Like,
this is a matchup where Barrera is going to put pressure on him, right? He's going to be offensive and take the initiative, right? So he's going to, like, he sucks at playing defense, right? So anytime Shapo's in a defensive position, he's just going to go for broke and like miss balls, you know? So I don't particularly like this matchup for Shapo. Because I think the guys that he loses to, let me pull this up.
I mean, he loses to all different kinds of guys, man. It's all just depending on how Shapo feels that day. You know, that's the problem with Shapo. Is like it's I don't really know that I buy into like much matchups type of stuff with him, because he loses to guys who get a lot of balls back. He loses to guys who overpower him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, what?
Yeah, he loses to everyone.
Yeah.
He loses to guys, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Zverev, Alcaraz, Fucsovics, Zhang, Tsitsipas, Fritz twice, then Michael Moe he lost to. Like, there's a guy that just makes balls and he lost to him. Yibing Wu he lost to.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think this line is like, I think this line is 10 to 15 cents off. I don't think it should be I don't think it's a pick 'em. I think it's like, I think this line should be like, it's 170 and 140. I think it should be like 150 and 125, or 150 and 120, or something in that range. But that means I probably have to stay away. So I think I'm going to stay away and maybe go with some combo of the 4 and the 5 set line. I just don't know how exactly to pull this off.
What about Barrera plus 1.5 sets? What's that line?
Minus 135, and that's not terrible either. Barrera to win a set is minus 335.
Yeah, no. I like that plus 1.5 sets. It's a little bit too much juice.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm debating it. It's close. Like, it's if I'm gonna hit, it's gonna be something. Yeah.
Pro Barrera.
Yeah, something more pro Barrera than pro Shapo, but like,
yeah.
Man.
All right, next match.
All right. Gotta pull it up. Ooh, this is a fun one. Cerundolo versus Lehecka.
Oof. So I'm guessing Cerundolo is probably like a 2-game favorite.
You're close. He's a 1-game favorite.
1.
Yeah.
What's your take? I mean, what's your take on this?
So this line keeps moving. It's all the way down to almost a pick 'em. Cerundolo's minus 120. I don't know, man. Like, is he just a better tennis player now? He's just better at the game of tennis, and you've got to take him at minus 120. He's just better at the game of tennis than Lehecka is.
But it's that like fatigue angle and all that, like, coming off a tournament win, and I mean,
Isn't that more dangerous in the first round?
And they both played today, right? So they're
They
both
both played today. Yeah, they're both coming off of full matches today. So I don't think this really goes either direction. Lehecka won in straights over Offner. We didn't talk about it before. He beat Offner straight floors.
right.
I don't know. Like Lehecka can't win 2 matches in a row. It seems like lately, you know, his wins on grass. I mean, this is tough. So here's, I mean, this is interesting. So Lehecka's grass court results this year are he beat Giron, Fokina, and Offner, and he lost to Alcaraz and Tiafoe. So like, there's nothing to read into that because he beat guys who he should beat. He lost to guys who he should lose to. The only interesting result might have been losing a set to Giron in Stuttgart.
Mm-hmm.
Cerundolo's been really good on the grass.
He has.
Like, I think this is Cerundolo. The only thing that's scary out here is the fatigue angle. And the question is, like, does Cerundolo have enough in the tank to beat Lehecka?
But, you know, also playing Lehecka is not a match where you need a lot of stamina because, like, Lehecka is going to miss, right? He doesn't.
I mean, that I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like, I think, like, I think I'm going to take Cerundolo here. I don't know. Cerundolo strikes me as a guy who's pretty tough.
His body language is hard to read into because, like, sometimes he feels he looks disinterested, but he's still interested. And then other times it's like he kind of fights back and, you know, like he did against Mackey. I thought he was done last week.
Yeah.
No, and then he like pulled it out. Right? He was like complaining, but then
I'm tempted to go Cerundolo money line here, man.
I'm leaning that way. It's only Cerundolo, not. I don't think there's value with Lehecka.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that fatigue angle is baked into the line. Like if
I think there should be 3 or 4 games. If you don't have that, it's like it's just a matter of how much do you weight the fatigue angle. I don't know, man. Like,
I think I agree with you. I'm just gonna go Lehecka money line, Cerundolo money line.
Cerundolo money line, yeah.
Minus 125.
Minus 120. Yeah. Oh, the over under, just to be like for the listeners, is 40, and it's a neutral 40, so it's 115 each way.
What's Cerundolo 3-1?
You love these 3-1s.
I do, or minus 1.5 sets.
Ooh, that should be good money. Cerundolo minus only plus 135. I don't love that. And Cerundolo 3-1 is at 380. I don't know. Those are pretty short in my mind.
I think I'm just gonna stick with money line.
Yeah, I'm gonna back you on that.
I don't know. We'll
next
see
matchup is
today, but I don't know. I don't know yet.
This is a fun one. Next matchup: Liam Broady versus Casper Ruud.
Oof. So I think Ruud is probably like a 4 or 4.5 game favorite. Is what I would put it at.
That's what I thought. He's 6.5.
Whoa.
And it's 115 each way. The money line, just again for the listeners, money line is 4-1. You get on Broady. Ruud at minus 550 if you want to win a free lunch and bet your life savings. And the over under is a neutral 35.5. Broady to take a set is minus 125.
I like that. I like it a lot, actually.
I mean, Broady took a set from Mannarino.
Yeah.
In Queens Club. Like,
didn't take off set up Michael Ymer though.
I know. I mean, like, yeah. But like, man, I don't know, dude. Ruud just lost a set to locally. And like, so Ruud, I mean,
yeah, that crowd is also going to push him like to maybe to win a set, you know, like they're going to get behind.
I was thinking that too. Like, All right, so this is interesting.
What do you
Ruud has 3 straight sets wins in his life on grass. 2 in Mallorca in 2021 over Sandgren and Gilles Simon. And then 1 at last year's Wimbledon over Ramos Vinolas. 6, 6, and 2.
Yeah, not good.
I gotta think that Broady's got a set in him here. And I'm even tempted to go Broady on the money line at 4-1.
I mean, we got to hit something Broady because like we thought that it should have been 4.5. And it's 6.
Yeah. The question is how crazy do I want to get with Broady here?
What's Broady plus 1.5 sets?
That is 210.
I think I go half a unit on 2.5 sets and half a unit on 1.5 sets. And that's how I play this match. And then maybe half a unit on the money line as well. Just divvy it up.
Yeah, I mean, Broady did make the 3rd round here last year. Not impressive results. He beat Klein and Schwartzman, but like, I don't know, man. He's
also lefty, right? So that forehand is going to go into Ruud's backhand. And Ruud's backhand is terrible on the surface. Because his slice kind of sits up. You know?
Yeah, he's not really known for like his chipping and
slice. It's more like a defensive shot where he just like floats it back, right? So that's not good. And that backhand is also very spinny, and the grass negates that. So I think like that lefty forehand to that Ruud backhand, that's problematic for Casper. So I like this matchup. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do half a unit on the 2.5 set line, maybe a full unit on that one. And then half on the 1.5 set and half on the money line.
I might follow you on that. That's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah. All right. Next match.
Next match is Milos Raonic against Tommy Paul.
Ooh, all right. So I'm really hoping that this line is not too lopsided. I think Paul should be like problem is Raonic's serve. So I'm guessing he's like a 5.5 game favorite.
4. And it's 4. It's a cheap 4 at -105. Raonic is plus 195 on the money line. Paul's minus 240. Oh. The over-under is 40.
That seems great. I think this is a pure Raonic fade spot. Is he for sure playing tomorrow? They didn't move this to Thursday or to Friday, right?
No, this is tomorrow. This is scheduled to be on around 1:30, so it should end up being played.
So how do you not think this is all Paul? Like how is Raonic going to back up a 4-set?
Well, so here's my thoughts, right? If you look at the statistics here, Paul last 52 weeks on grass has won 42%, or not 42%, 40% of his return points, which is bleeping excellent. Like on grass, that's awesome. 40% on return on grass is awesome. I want to see where he's ranked in the ATP in that stat on grass. And granted, it's not that many matches. You have to be a little careful because it's kind of a small sample. But of players in the top 50, Paul is 3rd in return points won percentage.
Yeah, and Djokovic and who else?
No, Djokovic isn't even. Djokovic might not even be on the list. He might not have enough matches to qualify. Because it probably isn't counting last year's Wimbledon. Murray's first at 46. Cerundolo's second at 41. Paul's third at 40.
Very good.
Obviously, if you had to tell me, I would obviously agree with you that Djokovic is a better returner on grass. But like the point remains, like Tommy Paul is freaking good, man, on return. And he's showing it on like against Muller. Like, I thought he did a good job of returning actually against Wolf. Like Wolf's serve is pretty nasty, and I thought that Paul did. I don't remember how many breaks he got, but like I don't know. I thought he did a good job on return in that match. Like I think he got like at least 1 break per set on Wolf.
So what's Paul 3-0?
Paul 3-0 is 190. That seems pretty good to me, man. I think I like the. My question is, how is Raonic ever going to break Paul? Unless Paul just hands him a break. Like Paul's gonna have to double fault twice and like throw 2 balls in the net. Which the only problem is Tommy Paul's completely capable of doing that in a big game.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he's capable of doing that against Raonic. Like, I still see Raonic putting any pressure on him on the return game. Raonic didn't put much pressure on Novak today, really. Like Novak just like missed some balls.
Exactly. It was all bad Novak. It wasn't like good Raonic. Plus, it's just a fatigue angle. Like he couldn't play 2 matches in a week? How is he going to be play back-to-back 5-setters in 2 days?
Oh yeah, I mean the worst. Honestly, the biggest fear here is that Raonic retires and you don't get your money, right? And you push.
Yeah, I guess.
Because like the problem is here, right? Like you're gonna have to like the money line at -240 is like that's kind of a lame play. Like I want to get more aggressive than that. So we're gonna have to play something where you can't get your money back, where you don't win if round.
What's -1.5 sets? If that's like -130 or better, I'm hammering that.
It's -130. That's amazing. I think
that's amazing.
Because I could see Raonic steal a set.
Yeah, but he's not winning 2. That's a play of the day right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the play of the day here is Tommy Paul. This is Tommy Paul, and the question is how aggressive do you want to get?
But I think like the 1.5 sets, like I'm like exceptionally confident in that, and like that to me should be like -170 or -180, not -1.
Yeah, if not more. I mean, yeah, I gotta look at it and think about like I'm probably gonna like go. I honestly like this. I feel so good about this. I might go one unit on the games, a unit on the 2.5, and a unit on the 1.5.
That's interesting.
Because I mean, I just feel like I feel so good about all the Tommy Paul lines here.
Yeah,
like I mean, the only scary thing here is Raonic has the big serve.
But as you said, Paul's a good returner, and if that ball comes back, what is Raonic going to do? And the fatigue angle, playing back-to-back days. I mean, I just love Tommy Paul here. The 1.5 sets clearly is a play of the day, for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can't see. I mean, yeah, I'll back whatever. I mean, yeah, and this is actually a match I might write up. This might be my write up. Yeah, I feel really good about this, and I feel like there's some stuff to break down here.
Okay, sounds good. Next match.
It's funny, we're gonna fade Raonic again. Watch he wins. I mean, he could, right? That's always the fear. So it's always good to know like what the fear is, and the fear is that Raonic just like serve bots his way to another win.
It's hard to do that, especially back to back. Like if this was a
first, I completely agree.
First, this is I would be a little bit more iffy, but this no.
Okay, next one up is Mayot against Pella. This is a fun match.
So Mayot actually played quite well I mean, he's won in straight sets each match in qualifying, and then he also won in straight sets today. So he's been on a good run of form. And he plays.
Well, that makes sense, right? Like he's an improving player. Like you would expect that.
I like Mayo here. I think the line is going to be pretty close to a pick'em. Maybe Mayo favored by a game or so. That's what I'm leaning. Like, is that the appropriate line?
Mayo -2 is the line. It's Mayo -2. The money line is -140 on Mayo and +115 on Pella. The over-under is 38.5.
So Pella really hasn't played much, right? And he played 5 sets today against Coric. I mean, that was a 2-day match.
He played 3.5 sets today against Coric. Or three sets in a couple games against Coric.
Right, but then he also played the day before, so this is his 3rd day in a row. Mayo, I mean, he also played today, but it was straight sets, right? He played way less.
He played a set and a half yesterday and a set and a half today.
Plus he's younger, plus he's been like kind of grinding challengers and stuff. So I like Mayo -2.
Yeah, I want to look at something here for a second. I want to see how Pella's done in back-to-back matches.
He hasn't won back-to-back matches all year.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah, I'm on Tennis Abstract.
Which would make sense, right? Like, it's just tough to do with his, like with coming back, from an injury like that. I mean, he didn't play for he played like one match in 2 years.
Right. But he hasn't won back-to-back matches all year.
Yeah, so coming off a win, he lost to Delian and Cordoba 3 and 4. That's not terrible. Delian's decent on clay. Like that's the one place like Delian would kind of play decent. Lost to Greek Sporting Dean Wells 6 and 6. Chapo and 3 in Miami. We were kind of made fun of him. Fokina 11 and 6. Wild and 4 at Roland Garros. Mannarino and 3 in Mallorca. I mean, man, he's been like. The problem is he's
getting better.
He's getting better, and like he's not that bad coming off of a match. He hasn't won back to back, but like he's playing good guys close.
But this is different. He really is playing 3 days in a row, right? And it was like a 5-setter. I don't know. I like Mayo's form. Like he hasn't lost a set in 4 matches at Wimbledon. I mean, I get it. It's not against great opposition, but like, is Pella that great opposition? I don't really buy that.
Just beat Coric.
Yeah, but you know how Coric is. Like, he can play like a top 10 player, but he can also play like someone between 80 and 100. You know?
Man, this is a tough match to call. I gotta see. I want to see like. So. I don't know.
I'm back in Mayo, and I'm gonna my lunch is gonna be a sandwich with mayo, not mustard.
All right. I like the dad jokes. Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of like the narrative. I kind of like the narrative here of like the old grinder, like wearing down like the young talented kid. You know what I mean? Just like I need to see some. I might watch some highlights of Pella versus Coric and then kind of look at that and see what that looks like.
So I watched that match because I had that. It was the last leg of my parlay. So Pella, he was the better player in the first 2 sets. I mean, actually, he stole that second set, but after he got that, he started his level dipped for sure. So I don't know if there's a little bit of fatigue that kicked in. And then he got a second gear in the 5th set, But I just think that that's a lot of tennis for him. Like, and Mayo's winning comfortably.
I know.
So to me, like this is not necessarily backing Mayo. It's more that fatigue angle.
It's just weird because like we haven't seen it, right? Like we haven't seen it in either direction to know, right?
But Mayo
I
is
think I like where you're going with it,
he's
but
back-to-back matches pretty well. I mean, he's been decent.
Mayo, you're saying.
Mayo, yeah, and he's building confidence. Like winning 4 straight matches in straight sets at Wimbledon, like against anyone, that's pretty good. Like,
I'm not debating that. I'm saying that, like, I don't know. I got to think more about this one.
What are his serve and return statistics?
Mayo?
Yeah,
It's just tough. Like the
68.
they don't even have him up on Tennis Abstract.
Generated 6 break points, converted 4 of them. Won 78% of points on first serve. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Mayo angle here. I'm gonna go the -2. All right, what's the next match?
Next match is Quarantine Moutet versus Roman Safiullin.
Jesus Christ. I think Moutet is going to be marked as a favorite here, probably like 3 or 4 games.
Wrong. Safiullin is Safiullin as a 1-game favorite.
Oh, are you kidding me right now? I'm gonna as much as I hate to say it, I'm backing Moutet then. What's Moutet money line?
110. I was gonna get there. So it's Safiullin's a 1-game favorite. The money line is -130 on Safiullin, +110 on Moutet. The over-under is 40.5. Moutet did not play today, right? Moutet beat Gasquet yesterday,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Safiullin played. Now he didn't play all 5 sets today, right? That was a.
No, they played the first 3 yesterday, and then he came back and played 2 today, I believe.
Yeah.
But that must have taken something out of Safiullin.
Maybe not. Like, because again, like that's just 2 days in a row of playing. These guys do that all the time.
I guess. But like, okay, so if we don't talk about the fatigue angle, I think Moutet is gonna like kind of play some defense and just like force Safiullin into kind of going for more than he needs to. Like, how often does Safiullin hit 89 winners? Like, can he really back a performance like that up? Like, he's gonna have to do that again against Moutet because Moutet is just gonna run balls down.
He doesn't need to hit 89 winners to beat Moutet.
Not 89, but he's gonna be the one taking initiative, and he's gonna have to make a ton of balls. Like that's what Moutet does. Like he just slices and runs down a ton of balls, and then like will put a ball in an uncomfortable position. That's his game plan. You know, like he loves like bringing people in and then having a target to hit to. That's what Moutet does.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with you. I'm tempted to back Moutet here also. But I just have to think about it a little bit more. But I'm tempted to back him here. My lean would be Moutet. I got to think about it a little bit, but I'm
just gonna take Moutet money line.
Yeah, I think that's how I'd prefer to hit this too.
I don't want to do sets and games and all this stuff with Moutet because he can clown.
I mean, if you're gonna do your 3.5 set parlay, I think this is an ideal candidate for it.
Yeah, this is a good one. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, although Gasquet didn't win a set against Moutet, but no. All right, next match.
Galan and Otte.
Do we really have to talk about this one? Like,
on the board,
seriously?
Baby. On the board.
Jeez. Oh my God. I don't even know where to set a line on this. Probably close to a pick 'em, I would say. Maybe Galan game favorite.
It's Otte -4, and Galan's a
Whoa.
+1, and
What?
Galan's +175, Otte -215. The over/under is 39.
I think just by that, I'm just gonna hit Galan money line.
I'm tempted to hit Galan. You like, man, Otte's just been so bad at times this year. Like, I don't know if Otte should be +175 against Friedman at this point. Like,
Should he be?
he shouldn't be anywhere near +175 against Sloan. Sloan's gonna run a lot of balls down and make him hit
Right, exactly.
make him hit extra balls. Probably make him hit some backhands too. No, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like Galan's gonna screw me again.
I mean, before the Wimbledon qualifying, I mean, this goes back to the clay season. He lost 6 straight matches.
Oh, Otte has not been good outside of he just kind of woke up at these qualifying, decided to start playing some decent tennis again.
And I don't know. I hate backing Galan on grass too, but
I know
Galan was the Cressy 1 win in the last 13. It was against Galan. So it's just it's hard to back him too. You know what I mean? But
would you take the games? Because is Otte liable to throw away or take, I don't know, what is Galan to win a set? You're gonna lay juice, but the question is how much.
To win 1 set or 2?
1.
Probably -2.
Okay, Galan to win a set is 275, -275. That's terrible. But Galan to win 2 sets is -110. I don't like that.
No money line.
One is so bad though.
This is a match I don't even want to play because it's do I really want to watch this match? This is probably the worst match on the board. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I tend to agree.
I see the value with Galan just on the price, but it's purely a price play. I want to fade both of these guys, to be honest.
I might stay away. It's just so I gotta think about it. Man, I don't know. The problem is Otte could play decent. And if he plays decent, he wins and probably covers.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. But with Galan, we're getting plus money on it. That's what plus 180?
No, it's only a plus money play. I got to think about this one. These lines are tough, I think, tonight, man.
They are.
I just don't have a good feel for a lot of these matches.
There's no way we're writing this one up.
No. Unless you want to write that up.
No, hell no.
All you, buddy.
Hell no. No.
Tiafoe against Stricker. This is a fun one.
This is a fun match, yeah. Tiafoe probably is a 6-game favorite in that vicinity.
5. And the money line is -500 on Tiafoe, plus 375 on Stricker. The over-under is 38.
Yeah, laying games with Foe is always risky because he could clown a set away.
The line I'm looking at here, there's really no line I'm looking at here, to be honest. Because Tiafoe in straights is plus 125. I don't love that. Stricker plus 2.5 sets is -165. Here's an interesting line. Tiafoe over 20.5 games is -115. So it's basically Tiafoe to drop a set is -115.
Mm-hmm.
To drop a set, but win 2 sets or win the match.
Yeah, these lines are pretty well set.
So I think the game spread and the money line are pretty well set. I'm not playing those. The over-under of 38 is actually interesting here, I think. And I think the first set over-under of 10 here is interesting also. It's only minus 125 to take the over 10.
I'm actually very tempted to, I don't know, lake something with Tiafoe. Like, I don't think Stricker's that good. He also played 5 sets today against Popperin.
That's a good call. The fatigue angle's a good call.
You know. And like Tiafoe looks motivated here. Like he knows that this is a real chance for him to make a deep run at the slam. You know?
Yeah.
I really think like Tiafoe is really showing something here. I think I'm gonna lay the games, but it's only 5.
Yeah, 5 is too much for me. Stricker's a big game, man. Like he's got so many holes, but he's got a big game. Like
he does, but holes like Tiafoe's a really good mover on this surface. Like you put him number 4 in your power rankings. You know, like Stricker's nowhere near the top 50 or 60. I get
the problem is if Tiafoe clowns away a set, you're done.
But
I still don't trust he's not going to do that.
I don't trust it either, but he seems motivated. Like this, I think he knows this is a great opportunity for him to make a run. And
yeah, I don't know,
you know,
man.
challenge Alcaraz in the quarters, but like, I think 5 isn't. I mean, I thought it would be 6, right? So,
yeah, I thought it would be 5. Like I thought maybe 5.5 to 6. And usually my rules, if I'm within 1, I don't play it. And this is minus 115 for each. It's probably not quite good enough, but I don't hate the Tiafoe play on the games.
All right, what's the next match?
Giron and Fucsovics.
I mean, I hate Giron, but I think Fucsovics is probably like a 3-game favorite in that area.
No, he's 4. It's funny. So I was on the other side. I thought it'd be 5.5.
Whoa.
Team favorite. I really don't like Giron on grass. And I think Fucsovics is underrated, man, on grass. Like, I mean, Fucsovics has a lot of physical skills, you know? Like we talk about like his like athletic body and everything, but he has like he's a good athlete.
Yeah, I mean, Giron getting like, you know, 3 tight sets, 6-4 and 4 against Delian. Like, that's not good. Like,
no, here's Fucsovics' results on grass. He beat Wessels, which fine, whatever. Beat Chokuk, whatever, fine. But he beat Shapo, beat Yibing Wu, beat Fritz to make the finals of Stuttgart or the semis of Stuttgart, where he lost 3 and 6 to Tiafoe. And we kind of made fun of Tiafoe because that was the 13-11 tiebreak where Fucsovics like choked it away. And then he just beat Griekspoor straights. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I like Fucsovics here. Like, and then you look at Giron on grass and like lost Lehecka, lost to Pella. His wins are Vavasori and Kotov. Like,
well, I also don't trust him mentally. Like, I don't necessarily.
I don't trust either of these guys mentally, man.
But yeah, exactly. But I think that Fucsovics has still a slight edge, which shows how bad Giron is mentally.
Yeah.
You know. What's the minus 1.5 set line?
So the money line, we'll just go through the line for the listeners. The line is Fucsovics minus 215, Giron plus 175, and the over-under is 38, and I'm seeing. Minus 1.5 sets is minus 120 for Fucsovics.
I like that.
I think that's my play here too.
And I actually like the under here. The under 38.5.
You know, I was thinking that, but I don't know that I like that because, like, man, if Fucsovics gets ahead, he could choke a set away.
Okay. Yeah, he could. Minus 1.5 sets. I like that. Do you want to make a play of the day as well?
That could be a second play of the day. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not going to write it up. I prefer to write. I think the round match was more fun to write up.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, we got about 8 matches left. Next up, Ivashka Dimitrov. Actually, you know what? Can we take a quick timeout?
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna call time out here. We'll come back and do the last 5 or 6 matches.
Quick break.
All right, welcome back to the show. So we got what, 7 or 8 more matches to go through?
Yeah. Yep. No, so Manny's gonna keep playing guess the lines. Next line up, Manny. And I want to see what your thoughts are on this one. Dimitrov versus Ivashka. I know what we really want is Dimitrov to hit 50 aces here.
That's not happening. But that being said, I think Dimitrov should be a sizable favorite here. I think he should be like 6.5, 7, probably more like 7.
So the actual line is 5.5.
That seems low to me.
It's even 115 each way. Dimitrov's minus 500 on the money line. Ivashka's plus 375. The over-under is a low 37.5. Which kind of makes sense. I think this is like I think Ivashka's good for half a set here, which means I don't know if he's going to win one or not.
So I'm leaning something pro Dimitrov. I actually like the under here.
You know, we didn't talk about this. Somehow Ivashka lost a set to Federico Coria on grass.
Well, that I was getting to that. And when I saw that, I'm like, there's no way. I'm betting Ivashka here. Also, Dimitrov, he's been quietly pretty good this year.
I will say Ivashka did make a run here to the 4th round 2 years ago.
Yeah, but his form has actually been really bad. And when you're losing sets to Coria, I'm going to weigh that way higher than any previous result that you've had here. So the thing with Dimitrov is like when he plays a higher ranked guy or when he plays like, so he did lose to Yari in Geneva, but like that's different. Yari in altitude is like top 10 in the world. Clay altitude, he's like top 10.
Yeah, maybe might be an accurate statement.
But like if you look at his losses, Alcaraz in Queens, right, in the quarters, Zverev at Roland Garros, Djokovic at Rome, Alcaraz in Madrid. I guess Diminor in Barcelona is not that great, but but that was a withdrawal anyway. So like he loses to like higher ranked guys because first of all, I don't think he believes he can win. I think there's a huge mental gap there.
Oh yeah.
Right? Huge. But when he plays,
and he's mentally weak when in tough matches, I think.
But when he
I don't have a stat to back this up, but like offhand, but like I just feel like he's mentally weak in tough matches.
Yes. Yeah, he doesn't really like digging in. But the thing is, if he's better than an opponent, like he is against Ivashka, he could win like 2-1 and 2.
And I don't feel like Ivashka's gonna deal well with like the variety game that's gonna come with Dimitrov, come off Dimitrov's racket.
But like on grass, those wins that he had were all straight sets. Vukic 3-4, Rinderknecht 3-5, Rusevori 2-4. So when he's like better than the opponent, he can like put him away because he just.
And I'll look at it the opposite way. Here's Ivashka's record on grass this year. So he's 2-3, but he beat Coria in 4 sets. Okay. Lost to RCB in that's not a good loss on grass. You don't want to be losing to RCB. Lost to McDonald 4-3 in Den Bosch. Lost to Hijikata in the Surbiton Challenger. Beat Hugo Grenier in the Surbiton Challenger.
So what's the Dimitrov 3-0 line?
That's where I was going to go with this.
If it's only a 5-game spread, it should be like plus 150.
Not great. It's only plus 115.
Oh, gotta get out of here. Then you know what? I think I'm just going to play the -5.
I think -5's not bad here.
Because Dimitrov's going to get some breaks. Like Ivashka doesn't serve very well. Coria broke him on grass.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think I'd like the minus. I mean, like the 3-0 just isn't a great line, right? Like plus 115 is not amazing. When I can lay 5.5 at -115, I think I'd rather just lay the 5.5.
Is that a play of the day candidate?
To me, it is.
I like it. Like Ivashka's been really bad. Lost his set to Courier and then lost his like previous 3 matches. Like lost to Rinky, Mackey, and RCB. I mean, Mackey's okay. Mackey's decent on grass, but like that's not
But
good.
still 4-3. I don't love.
Yeah, that's true. And Ivashka has those like big swings. Like Dimitrov is going to find a way to rush him.
Yeah.
So I love that play. 5.5. I thought it should have been 7 or 7.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on the 5.5 there. I mean, and I guess like the question is like, I'm gonna look at a couple things here with Ivashka. So give me a minute.
Have you guys played?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, they played a couple times. Ivashka got him in Sofia, and he got him in DC in 21. Dimitrov got him in Geneva in 21. But I think but the thing is, these guys are trending in different directions.
Well, I think Ivashka's more trending down. I think Dimitrov's been pretty flat now for a couple of years. Like he's just been hanging in like the 20s.
And I think he's happy there, right? But he's beating guys that he's supposed to be beating.
Yeah, he's just kind of floating along in the 20s. Ivashka's been in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Yeah, it's yeah, the question is, I mean, what I'm debating is can Dimitrov pick up a 6-2 set here? That's the question I'm asking.
I think he can. What makes you say that he can't? Or makes you think that he can't?
Yeah, I'm gonna back you on that. Dimitrov has been
Yeah, I don't see how Ivashka like.
yeah.
I don't see how he, makes progression here. Like I just think also Dimitrov has so much more variety.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's yeah. I my debate here is solely: am I going to play Dimitrov with the Am I going to play Dimitrov
3-0?
3-0? Am I going to play him to?
I prefer the games because like also Dimitrov is not the strongest mentally. So he could sleep through a set.
Well, and that's the fear is he playable at all?
And you're only getting plus 115. And I think deep down, like Dimitrov knows that he's just so much better than Ivashka, so he might like sleep through a set and then like get his act.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know, man. He's the question is like, I don't know, man. Is he good enough on return? Is he good enough on return to is he good enough on return, Dimitrov, to potentially get a 6-2 set?
But Ivashka's serve is not that good.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like it's not like, oh, is he good enough on return? Ivashka also just doesn't serve that well.
But it's hard to pick up a 6-2. Like Dimitrov is a very average returner. And I agree with Dimitrov. Like Ivashka's serve is below average, it's hard to get a 6-2 set on grass.
Yeah. I mean, Coria generated 9 break points against Ivashka in that match.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that like.
So
Yeah, like I think.
you backing me? I don't think there's much to overthink here, to be honest. Ivashka's just trending the wrong way. He's just been terrible.
Yeah.
This is the surface you want this match to be played if you're back in the
Oh, obviously that's not the debate. It's just like, yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like Ivashka.
Yeah, just repeating his name is not gonna convince you to play him. Ivashka's not that good. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
All right, what's the next match?
all right, moving. Ymer versus Fritz.
Ooh. This is an interesting match. I'm gonna go Fritz probably -5.
5.5. I thought I was gonna say 6. It's 5.5. Fritz is -450 on the money line. Ymer is +350. The over/under is 38.
It's pretty well set. What's
Yeah, I think to stay away here. I think it's pretty well. And like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like if there's a get right spot for Taylor Fritz, this is it, man.
what's Ymer to win a set? If it's -130 or better, I'm taking it, but it's probably not.
155.
Nah.
I'm staying away here. I think that's a pretty well set line.
It's well set. 38.5.
38.
38. What's 4 sets? Or Fritz 3-1?
Fritz 3-1.
Yeah.
$240 is not bad.
That's how I play it if I do.
Yeah. This is interesting. Under 10 for the first set line is sitting at -130. Ymer has not played it, has played one 12-game set out of 17 on grass this year. Fritz has played a lot. Fritz has played 6 out of
He
7 out of 15.
He doesn't return very well, Fritz.
He hasn't been lately.
Yeah.
But man, it's not like Ymer serves big.
Exactly. But I do think Ymer can squeak out a set here. And then what's Fritz straight sets? Probably like what? +110, +115.
125. I like the under 10 in the first set. It's gonna push a lot, but I just don't see like a lot of. I don't know, man.
I think I'm gonna go Fritz 3-1 at +240.
All right, so we got 2 different plays here.
Yeah. Okay, next match.
I think the under overall. Ymer unders are always a decent look.
They are, but like, I don't know. Fritz
Next match is Medvedev Mannarino.
Ooh. So they played in
Then Bosch and Mannarino got him.
right. And Mannarino looked okay physically today. But again, he played Shevchenko, who I don't think played a single grass court match in his career. So I'm gonna go Medvedev like -5 or -4.5. That's my guess.
That's the line. The line is -5.5 at -110. The money line is Medvedev -425, Mannarino +325, and the over/under is 38. The 5-set line is at +330.
I like the over here. The over 38.5. I think
I like something big. I like the over here is 3. The 5-set line is 330.
I don't trust Mannarino physically to necessarily get to 5 sets. If they played it,
well, if he gets 2 sets, right? Like my thing is more if he gets 2 of the first 3, that he gets there. Right? You don't necessarily need to be good for 5 sets to get to 5 sets.
But I think he has a track record of gassing out physically too much. As a 36-year-old, kind of like, underpowered and stuff like
I mean, he got him in 3 in Den Bosch. I'm thinking the same thing.
3 is one thing, but 5 is a totally different animal.
No, but he can get 2 of the first 3 and stun, and then he's at 5. Right? That would be the way, is that Mannarino would get the lead.
Yeah.
And then he would run out of gas.
I'd just rather play the over.
Yeah.
Logic. But
this is a tough style matchup for Medvedev, man.
It is. Okay.
I don't love the Mannarino money line here.
I don't either. Just the physicality. Like best of 5, best of 3, I get it. But
also, like Medvedev mentally tough, right? I think he can find a way to get through this. But I'm pretty sure he loses a set here. But that line's -165.
They played at Wimbledon in 2018, and Mannarino got him in 5 sets.
Man, I don't know. Here's the way I'm thinking about this, right? Like, so you like the over at -115 of 38?
Mm-hmm.
But man, 5 sets is 330. Like, what's the difference between those two lines? 4 long sets? Like, Medvedev, I mean, I get it, it's grass, and his return position kind of sucks for grass, but like, I don't know, he's still gonna. The match in Den Bosch was 4-6-6, 4-6-2.
And then they played in Den Bosch the year before, was 5-5 for Medvedev. And then they played in 18 at Wimbledon. Mannarino got him in 5.
Looking at their head-to-head, they also played 19 Miami. That's Medvedev 2-1, but that's on a better court for Medvedev. You've got Medvedev got him in Toronto or Mannarino, but that's all like 2017. Even the 18 data is tough because that's kind of pre. It's really you're looking at the 2 in Den Bosch, are really the 2 relevant matches. One each way, both tough. I mean, I like the overplay here. I think I might go more risky and go more aggressive and take the 5 sets.
What's Medvedev over like 20.5?
-105.
I don't mind that. I think that's a good way of playing like over 3.5 sets.
The problem is you need Medvedev to take 2 of them. He probably does.
Probably does, yeah.
Yeah, I like all of these, to be honest. I'm gonna play this somehow. I just don't. Maybe I'll go half a unit on the, or maybe I'll go a unit on the. Maybe I'll go a half unit on the Medvedev over 20 and a half, a half unit on the over 38, and then a half, and then a full unit on the 5 set. I don't know, man. I could see this going 5. Like,
I just
just
don't
as I could see Mannarino getting a lead.
I don't trust
Medvedev, like,
physically.
what?
I don't trust Mannarino physically. That's the only thing that's like.
But you don't need him to trust him for that long. If he gets a 2-set-to-1 lead, he's good.
That's not easy.
You don't need him to play well in the 5th set. He can get bagelled in the 5th set. That's fine. He can completely go away physically in the 4th and 5th.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Medvedev is really not good on grass, though. Like, this is never Medvedev. It's always you got to favor Mannarino in some way.
Or overs.
Yeah. What's Mannarino over 18 and a half? You have that line?
Yeah. Actually, you don't. The highest is over 17 and a half is minus 105.
Ooh, I like that.
But he's probably got to get 2 sets to get you there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Like, depends how close the sets are.
This is kind of a match where I see a lot of breaks. I wouldn't mind playing like a break prop here if they had it. You know what I mean? Like, let me look at something. Because don't you see a lot of breaks here?
Yeah, I mean, there were 8 breaks when they played in Den Bosch earlier this year. And there were 8 when they played in Den Bosch last year.
Yeah, it's a lot of breaks.
It's a lot of breaks on grass.
So the break props here. Yeah, that's the play. Oh, yeah. The over on breaks is 6.5 here. For the match. You like that? And that's plus 110.
I think, but I also think it might be pretty well set. Like, I don't know, man. I don't trust that there's gonna be like 8 breaks in 3 sets, like there were.
Yeah, but you think it goes 5. If it goes 5, there's definitely going to be that many breaks.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna go for the, yeah. Well, I don't think it goes 5. I just think 330 is a good price for 5. But I never think I'm actually gonna go 5. But
Yeah. I'm going to hit this. That's my play. Over 6.5 breaks.
yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Ugh.
Over 6.5 breaks and the over. The over on games. That's the way. But yeah, this is a very interesting match because, like, stylistically also. Like, Mannarino is probably the closest thing to Medvedev in a weaker version. Right? Like this
I think they're actually pretty different.
They're different, but they're
The
yeah.
only thing that's similar is they have a flat backhand.
Yeah, there's no one really like Mannarino, but like these are like the 2 most unconventional guys there are. Just like Medvedev is just much stronger mentally and physically. And he has a better serve. So those are the reasons why, he's 3 in the world and Mannarino's 35 in the world. But like, in terms of watching, like tactically and stylistically, I love this matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's a fun watch.
It is a fun watch.
I do think like it's gonna be closer than the line. I mean, it's gonna be, I think, pretty close.
Yeah. All right,
But
let's
I
move on.
am worried about Mannarino going away physically.
Yeah, that's
The question is, how much does Mannarino have in the tank before that happens?
I mean, he played straight sets today, so that should help him. Like, he didn't like have to really expend himself physically.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next match?
All right, this is the fun one on board. Murray and Tsitsipas. This line is flying up. It's not flying, but we already talked about this. This is Murray. It's Murray -2 now. It's up to minus. It was 1.5, and now it's up to 2. But the money line hasn't gone anywhere. It still is at -145 plus 120. And the over's at 41.5.
So I hit the Murray right when it came out. I hit Murray -1.5 at -120.
Yeah.
I didn't like the money line. It was -145. I feel like there are going to be some breaks in this match. Like, I feel like playing a -1.5 game is kind of similar to just playing a money line. You know what I mean? So I was going to
The only thing
less juice.
is if this gets tight, like if this gets to a 5th set, man, I think I trust Murray more than Tsitsipas. Like, I know he's a metal hit, but I think mentally he's just so much better.
I agree.
Well,
also Murray is very good tactically, right? Like he's very, very strong mentally. So like he knows, like we know, right? Like as I mean, everyone knows. Everyone and their mom knows that you attack Tsitsipas's backhand, right?
yeah.
And you be aggressive to that, right? Like you don't
I'm
Murray
going to play
knows
Murray
that
here.
in
The
spades?
debate is I'm going to back the rest of the world here and play Andy Murray. The question is it the -2 games or is it the -145? And the advantage of the -2 games is obviously a better price. The advantage of the 145 is like, I do think that like if Tsitsipas gets close, I think Murray actually has the advantage. Like I think there is an advantage to playing the money line over the 2 games. The question is it worth the 25 cents?
What's the -1.5 set line for Murray?
I probably like that less. It's probably pretty decent. Plus 115.
Not quite good enough. I'd rather do the 1.5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's interesting because it's like, when was the last time an unseeded player was favored against a top 5 player?
Yeah, I can't think of a time. It's
I gotta
pretty...
ask like Klaus Fugard on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. He would remember this kind of
He'd
stuff.
probably remember this guy. Yeah. This is wild. Like, he's a top 5 player, but the unseeded guy is his favorite.
I mean, but Franco was pretty terrible on grass, right? But I don't know if he was ever a dog in like round 1 or round 2. I don't know.
Yeah, this is wild. But yeah. And it's crazy because it's not like it's also that the world is backing the unseeded player here, like I don't know anyone who's pro Tsitsipas here.
Yeah.
It's just wild. And like, I don't necessarily think like Murray has the best game to play Tsitsipas. Like, the guys that play Tsitsipas really well are guys that are really aggressive and like can.
I know, that's the problem. I was thinking the same, but I do. That's why I kind of like the Murray money line. Is like, I just think right now he's just like in a better spot. Like Tibbetts disagreed. Tibbetts didn't like his reasoning at all, but I think he's in a better spot confidence wise. And I think that's like your backstop here playing the money line. Like Murray's in like every advantage right now is with Murray, but if Tsitsipas plays decently, he still has to knock Murray out, and that's tough to do mentally.
Yeah, Tsitsipas is actually pretty strong mentally. It's just I think it's
I don't think he's near Murray though.
Now he's in a weaker
And
spot.
right now he's in a funk, right? Right now, I don't think
in
he's in the same place he was like.
Yeah, but generally speaking, if he's not in this like Badosa, scheduling funk or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's yeah. Usually he's quite strong. But like I guess Murray is so mentally strong and so smart tactically that like he's gonna find ways to attack that, even if he doesn't necessarily have the best game to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd be more concerned if it was like Dimitrov, for example. So all right, what's the next match?
Shelton versus Djere.
Oof. Oh, it sucks for me because I just see Shelton just bombing a ton of aces, even if he doesn't win. Like this is like the perfect matchup for aces, like Jiri also played late in the night yesterday. I gotta back Shelton here. It's hard for me to not to. Like I would what's the Shelton -1.5 set line? Well, I should guess the line. I think Shelton is probably like a 4-game favorite or a 5-game favorite in that.
It's 3 at -125, so it's an expensive 3. The money line's -210 for Shelton, +170 for Djere. Over under is 40.
I like Shelton 3-1. What's that?
295. The Shelton 1.5 -1.5 sets lines at -115.
But yeah, I prefer the 3-1 because I don't think Shelton wins in straight sets. Like I said it earlier, like he might get it back, but he usually has like a lull where he just makes a ton of errors. Like for like a 15-20 minute period in a match.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm just not a big believer in Djere on grass,
Yeah, I'm not really a big believer in him anywhere, really. Like not even
Clay's pretty tough.
Clay, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, beyond this grass, man, I don't know. I think I don't know. This is a tough one. Like I think this line is pretty well set. I'm tempted to go something pro Shelton. I might go the Shelton -1.5 sets. Yeah, I think that's the play here.
Okay. All right, what else? What's next?
I can tell you're running out of energy there. You look like you're about to fall asleep.
Yeah, I'm getting a little tired.
Norrie Eubanks.
Ooh. Jeez, Norrie Eubanks. I'm thinking Norrie is probably a 3.5 game favorite, maybe.
5. It's 5 for Eubanks, or sorry, yeah, no, 5 for Norrie at a -105. So it's a cheap 5. -350 on the money line for Eubanks for Norrie, +275 for Eubanks. The over-under is 39.5.
You think this is the end of the road for Eubanks?
I don't know, man. Like
Like that's it now. You know, like now his time is over.
But why should it be? Is Norrie that good? Like Norrie hasn't. I don't think
No,
Norrie's been that impressive.
but I think this is a good matchup for Norrie.
If Norrie was playing well, yeah. Like matchup wise, this is a great matchup for Norrie.
Yeah, he's not playing that well.
I mean, I want to see something.
What's Norrie 3-1? Go back to the well.
$250 plus 250. So I think there's something I want to look at here. Ugh, they don't have it. I was looking to see what Norrie's percentage of returns that he gets in play are. But they don't have it.
Stat.
What?
That's a good stat to look up in this matchup.
Yeah. Like not his versus ace, not the ace percentage. I want to see if I have it. No.
The thing is, like, good Norrie and bad Norrie are so different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when's the last time we've seen really good Norrie?
Golden Swing.
Yeah. And that wasn't even good, man. Remember all those close matches he had with all those South American clay quarters?
Yeah, I know. He just kind of fought through it. And
Yeah.
what line I would potentially like here with Norrie is like the over 20 or over 20 and a half.
Minus 110. That's not terrible.
Because like if this is bad Norrie, like I could see Eubanks win a set.
This is good Norrie. Eubanks can win a set.
Yeah, and like a set that Norrie wins might be 7-6 or 7-5. Like Eubanks has a big serve.
But that's annoying. I mean, with the 20 and a half, you really need Norrie to lose a set. Unless it's going to be 7-7 and 7.
Right.
Right. So
7, 7, and 6 would get a push with the over 20. But like I also don't think Eubanks is gonna break Norrie that much, right? So I think I'm gonna hit the over 20 and a half at minus 110.
all right. I gotta think about this match a little more. This is
Okay.
I kind of want to play. Honestly, 5 games is a lot. I kind of want to play Eubanks in some way here. Like the first set over 10 is at minus 110. That's kind of interesting.
Bad.
Eubanks couldn't break Montero for the first set at all. He got like 2 points in return the first like set and a half, and then Montero's played like crap after that. But like,
All right, what's the next match?
last match. This is not tomorrow, but Alcaraz versus Muller.
Ooh. It's probably the standard, like what, 9.5 or 9?
8.5, but it's an expensive 8.5. If you want to bet on Alcaraz, the money line is minus 5,000. Muller's only 14-1 to win the match. Ugh. And then the over-under is 29.
I like the 29, actually. I might go under. Like, there is going to be a 6-2 or 6-1 set here.
Yeah.
And
Alcaraz to go under 18.5 is plus 110.
I actually like it better here because like Muller just doesn't have weapons. Like Shardy has some weapons, right? Like if he finds his game, it's a big forehand,
Yeah.
right? But I actually like that better here because just Muller is just so underpowered.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna hit that at plus money. And I like the under 29 too. Because like I think it's inevitable there's just gonna be a 6-1 or 6-2 set here, right? So basically if Alcaraz does get one of those, you're basically clear because Muller would need like a 7-5 or something like that to get back in that, you know? So because 29 is what 4, 4, and 3, and that's a push.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 1-6-1 set, and he's done.
Well, almost like a 5, 1, and 4, right? Unless Muller gets
It's gonna be hard for him to get 4 games in a set. Because like Muller has nothing to hurt him. Like he's gonna have to struggle to hold serve.
I know.
Like Muller's underpowered even on clay.
Yeah.
Against most guys. We saw how this match like in Roland Garros with Sinner. Right? And that's Muller's preferred surface.
Yeah. What was that score, that Sinner Muller match?
It's like 1-4 and 1.
I didn't say it was ugly. That's the answer.
It was ugly. I think you were at my house for that. It was
I
terrible.
was. Yeah, we left halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1-4 and 1.
So I like the under here a lot.
Yeah.
What's the Alcaraz to lead 2-0 after 2 games? Plus 185. I might hit that too.
Down the board every
You know, I love that bet, right?
No, man. I think the problem is like, dude, it's just like always, man. These lines, these big spreads are tough.
Yeah, don't overthink it because look at this matchup too. I look at the matchup as well. I would be actually more hesitant to we still hit it and we won against Shardy. I think this is an even better matchup for Alcaraz than Shardy.
No, you don't have like Shardy can't play 3 sets of tennis. Muller can.
Okay, but if like Shardy plays decently, I think playing Muller is better for Alcaraz.
100%, but I don't think Shardy can't play 3 good sets of tennis at this point. Muller could play 3 decent sets of tennis, and he probably will. It's just 3. Like, can he cover 8.5 and be playing decently?
I mean, you have a day to think about it too.
Yeah, like the problem is like, man, like if it goes like 5, 4, and 2, that or 5, 3, and 2, that's 9. And like we know that Alcaraz has the Alcaraz dip. It comes every match.
It does. He gets it back quick, but there is a dip in every match.
So I think there's going to be like one set that's like within, like the question is there one set within 2 games or are there 2 sets that are within 2 to 3 games, you know? Like is there one set with a 1 break difference or 2 sets with a 1 break difference? That's the question.
Yeah.
Like this may be a no hit. Or maybe the under. I mean,
All right, we got a couple days to think about it. So let's recap what we have here. So
I got a lot to think about. That's the biggest recap. I got 5 hours and a lot to think about. But in terms of things we like on the summary, we like
Cerundolo money.
Broady in some capacity against Ruud, probably to win a set. We like Cerundolo money line over Lehecka.
We love the Paul minus 1.5 sets.
We love the Paul in some capacity. We're going with minus 1.5 sets as the play of the day, but whatever capacity like Paul in. We like
Mayo -2. At least I like that.
you like that. I'm not so sure yet.
I love the I like the Moutet money
Do
line.
we like Fucsovics over Giron at -4?
Well,
Or
we like the
Fucsovics minus
Fucsovics
1.5 sets,
-1.5
right?
sets.
Fucsovics minus 1.5 sets against Giron. That's another play.
And I think I'm gonna parlay those two. I'm that confident in those. The Paul -1.5
Some
set.
sort of over in Mannarino Medvedev, right, Manny?
Um,
Some sort of over 5 sets line, some kind of overplay there.
Yep.
We like Murray over Tsitsipas in some form.
I like Fritz 3-1 against Ymer.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one.
Dimitrov -5.5. I love.
We like Dimitrov in some form over Ivashka, either 5.5 or the 3 sets, depending on, or the 2.5 sets, depending on how aggressive you want to be.
Shelton, I like the 3-1 there too.
You like a lot of the 3-1s. I'm not. The 3-1s always tough to sell me on. I think that's it.
Yeah, and then
Quite a few plays. The GBM play of the day is, what are the plays of the day? The GBM plays of the day. The Paul is the biggest one.
The Paul -1.5, and then the Fucsovics -1.5 against Giron.
Yeah, those are the 2 plays. The Paul and the Fucsovics -1.5 sets are the 2 plays. The GBM plays of the day.
Yep. Yeah.
I think it's a wrap, guys. Again, we'll be writing up a couple of matches on the blog. Again, that is bettingdownthehouse.blogspot.com. We'll post on the Twitter.
So I think tonight Brad is going to do the write-up. I'm going to upload the pod and do some like housekeeping with like letting you know where to find our rationales behind each match. I'll update the Twitter as well. So we got our homework to do. So
yep. So with that, we're going to leave it to everyone else. Everyone have a good happy betting and good luck.
Sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks, everyone.